Laurel, 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 laurel.
There's always more than meets the eye. Being able to see things from multiple perspectives is paramount, as it dictates, 1, what level of understanding and awareness you'll have to see the bigger picture. 2, the ability to discern what is truth from what is mislabeled or is inherently false. And 3, whether you can empathize and or have the wherewithal to sympathize at all with others. One of the biggest errors in thinking we as individuals can commit beyond making assumptions is the outright denial and rejection of revelations regarding information we come across, mainly doing so without giving any further considerations and or thorough review at all. In other words, clinging to our beliefs without having an open mind or acceptance of any potentiality to being either misled or being wrong. This would often be considered the height of ignorance, and certainly can be and has been a fatal flaw in some situations. As a matter of fact, some of these facets are the precise intentions of propaganda. To promote a people's to remove the respect for others being or one another, and to demonize targeted opposition. To literally secularize people into groups, stripping them of their dignity and humanity, and labeling them as subhuman or unworthy of love, life, and or understanding. With that being said, so why is perspective so important? Well, many of us often cry out that we feel misunderstood, and we really can only imagine what it would feel like for someone to live in our shoes, to see what burdens we've carried, to witness the painful experiences, and to know the difficult decisions we've had to make. Whether it was weighing personal desires over doing what's best for others, while in those situations, knowing that no living soul would know the level of contemplation that went into our decision-making process. So unless you consider it as a possibility when pondering others' actions or behaviors, that there's more going on than what is within our own awareness to a situation, then the likelihood is that by taking things only at face value, we're subject to misjudge others or situations entirely, lending ourselves to the culture of misunderstanding one another. The self-perpetuating culture where little value is placed on depth or context, or removing our own desires or emotional impulses. To not look at reality in an objective sense, but playing squarely into the law of confusion. This is why phrases like, "you only see what you want to," or "you only hear what you want to," are mainstays in our lexicon. Not only is it a byproduct of our delusions, but it's literally how we shape our individual realities to be of our own liking, or means in which allow us to stomach living at all. Having multiple perspectives is the difference between me saying, "It's Laurel, and the dress is blue and black, you're wrong," and "I believe that you're hearing Yanni, and that the dress is white and gold according to your perception, and that's okay." The difference is in acknowledgement and consideration for our differences and abilities, rather than just taking a viewpoint that sees us only considering our sole perception as being the only state in which reality can be expressed or interpreted. Fighting endlessly over our perception is a fool's game. And really, the only way to transcend those arguments is to be aware that we're not all the same in terms of how we perceive reality and or what emotional state we're experiencing that is dictating our individual perception. In all actuality, the only real thing that can properly describe the objective world is that we exist somewhere within it, and of course, what our current state of emotions are. All else is subjective, hence why the outside world is often called an illusion. This is all meant to suggest that it's worth consideration that even slight variations in our physiology can dictate what hertz our ears hear, what wavelengths our brain is operating at, or the sensations we feel, and the colors our eyes may see. Having multiple perspectives is being able to know there are possibilities, more ways than just one, that we are able to comprehend or perceive. And rather than arguing over what we're perceiving, while trying to prove we're right or that the other person is wrong in their perception, instead, we can be aware that there are multiple ways in which reality may be experienced, and that there is no right or wrong answer, when in fact, there are multiple ways to interpret reality, and they may all be right. These are principles that, despite the vast technological advancements and psychological understandings that have been made available, are seldom taught, but rather we are encouraged to act on guttural instincts and impulse that see us only consider what we want to see or believe is the only truth of our shared reality. All I can say as a friendly reminder to anyone watching this video, be encouraged to slow down. Don't be afraid to think for yourself, and know there are many ways to see the world to each other. It is the main message of this video, to let it be known that it's to your benefit to go against the grain of popular opinion. The popular opinion, which is a life where we're under constant pressure for speed, become more efficient, being on the constant go. It all cultivates incessant sources for stress and strain. Don't be afraid to delve into your ideas, your thoughts, and to take things slow. Life isn't a race, and altruistically, there's very few things that ought to be or need to be rushed. But it is that way, isn't it? Live in a world of deadlines, meeting quota, sales goals and expectations, profit margins, returns, and all else that's encompassed by the ticking of a clock. Have you asked yourself why, though? Life just a competition that you try to stretch out as long as possible until you can't anymore? What are we racing towards? What's the goal here? Achieve maximized proficiency via automated supply and demand, so we can eventually lay back while mechanized AI allows for us to give the lowest amount of our effort, sit back in the ultimate form of laziness? Or is it to build an empire where we can pass on the fruits of our labor down through our offspring? Or are we just rushed to keep ourselves so busy that we don't have time to think about things that may truly matter? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing these things? I realize that's a question that only you, person who's watching, can come up with an answer for. I can't tell you, and I don't know. Not for you, anyways. These are just things that are worth thinking about. In any case, thank you for watching.